So, part five and last, as we're talking about survival. So, the old school staging, or a little bit more stratified. Um, Local cancer is roughly stage 0, 1, and then somewhat confusingly 2A and 2B. 0 just means it's barely there at all, and 1 is kind of like your polyps. And then 2 and 2A is almost like it's growing out and starting to make its way through the colon, but hasn't gotten really through the wall of the colon yet. It's working its way through. And a lot of times, even with 2A and 2B, they've got to do surgery and can't just remove it with um, like a little snip during the colonoscopy. Um, but that all gets lumped together in local disease. Regional is 2C and all stage 3s. 2C is kind of a hybrid where it's kind of gotten through the wall. It might be touching another organ, but it hasn't really gone completely beyond the area of the colon at that point. When you're talking stage 3, you're talking something that is either now, gone beyond the colon and is either in another organ, or is, if it's not in another organ, is in lymph nodes that are draining the colon. So at that point, it's no longer directly contained to the colon. So it's in the region of your bowel, but hasn't gone kind of global throughout the body. And stage 4 is it's no longer in your abdominal area. It's, you've got metastases in your liver, or it's in your lungs, or you've got stuff in your brain, or you've got lymph nodes involved, in your chest, and it's clearly spread beyond your abdominal area. So looking at 5-year survival rates, because again, a lot of times if you've made it 5 years, you're going to survive this illness, and it's going to be something else that gets you in the end. So local survival, so if you've got disease diagnosed at the local stage, 5-year survival rates are about 90%. Survival rates beyond 5 years for when you're diagnosed at the regional stage are 71%. And if you're diagnosed at the distant stage, making it beyond 5 years is 14%. And look at that step off. That's huge. So all total 5-year survival rates, if we just say you've got colon cancer and you don't know what stage you are at diagnosis, your survival, 5-year survival is 63%. But if you look at it, 90 plus 71 plus 14 divided by 3 is about 58%. So what gives? And that's telling you then, and I couldn't find numbers at what percentage of people are diagnosed at what stages. But I left my link in my talk. That means if you look at the 63% and look at what the percentages should be, it's telling you that more people are diagnosed early on than late. That's what's skewing the numbers upward, and this is very much a good thing. So about 39% of patients, so almost 4 out of 10 people, are found with local disease. So that's what's really improving survival. So 61% are found with regional or distant. So even if you find a lot of people at the regional stage, and 5-year survival for that is 71%, that will still skew your numbers upward a little bit. If you're found at the distant stage, that's kind of tough to swallow. And you can break this down even further. And I don't have this memorized. I don't know what the survival looks like if you have colon cancer versus having rectal cancer. The data is a little bit different when you look at those two. But what's the moral of the story? Is get your colonoscopy and get it on time. Because if you wait to get it until you're having symptoms, A, it's no longer screening, and B, you're probably going to get found with further advanced disease, and the chances of you surviving start going down. And then there's this great link that I would watch at the bottom. A news anchor by the name of Katie Couric got a colonoscopy on air back in 2000, and it took a lot of the stigma away from getting your annual colonoscopy. Thank you for your attention.